Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to our Diamond Sutra 101. It is good to see all of you back to the class. In the past few classes, we already discussed on the important teachings in the Diamond Sutra, which are the non-abiding on form, giving, Buddha, Dharma, merits, Buddha, Dharma, enlightenment, or anything in this phenomenal and non-phenomenal world. And in this class, we will continue to discuss on the non-abiding, but we will focus on our habit of abiding in our consciousness. So now I'm going to start to share the screen. In here, ultimate tranquility beyond notion. The Buddha said, when the mind of a bodhisattva abides in phenomenal and practices giving, he is like a person who has entered into darkness. He sees nothing at all. When the mind of the bodhisattva does not abide in any phenomenal and practices giving, he is like someone who has eyes in the full light of the sun. He sees all forms clearly. He sees the truth. So which means that when a Buddha abides to this phenomenal and do giving, means that he sticks to this phenomenal. There's me, there's you, and there's a thing called giving. Basically, he sees nothing. He's being restricted. And he's in the darkness because he's expected to have something back. He has this notion of I, you, and think. And he can't see other things. But if the bodhisattva does not abide in anything when doing giving, does not abide to I, you, or think, then he has the eyes in the full light of sun. He can see anything very clearly, everything clearly, and he even can see the truth in this world. So what can we see in our eyes? What do you see in your eyes? So in here, we have a lot of things around us. And what are the things that we abide to? Being pulled, we refuse to let go. We refuse to let go of what? Anything that we encounter might be the things that we abide to. Anything. Some people abide to money. Some people abide to people. Some people abide to things. Some people abide to this world. What a wonderful world. Some people abide to their faith. They believe in their faith and only their faith are the right faith. Abide to it. When people against him, hatred will arise. Some people abide to their kindness. They have this kindness and they abide to it, but not everyone wants help from you. And also, when you have the kindness to other people and you abide to it, if that person did not pay you back, what will be your reactions? And some people abide to hatred. I hate a person for my entire life, even my future life. Who suffer most? Some people abide to love. And when that person you love no more with you, the next thing will be suffering. To abide to it. So there's nothing wrong with all the things or people or feeling we so-called as phenomenal. There's nothing wrong with the phenomenal. The issue is because we too attached to the notion on ourselves. We love ourselves too much. And then we abide to this phenomenal, these things, these people. And when we can't hold on to it, then it will lead us to suffering. So actually, we are the one that cause suffering to ourselves. In here, the merits of upholding this sutra. If someone were to hear this sutra, believe it and not turn his mind against it, his merit will be greater. What of the merits of one who copies, receive, uphold, reads, chant, and explain it to others? What does it mean here? The hearing, belief, and not turn his mind against it are the most basic requirement when a person practices the Diamond Sutra. It's the most basic requirement, so-called we call the prerequisite. So if we don't hear the Diamond Sutra, how do we know about the teachings in the Diamond Sutra? If we don't believe in the teachings of the Diamond Sutra, how will we use the teachings in the Diamond Sutra in our life? And when we use it, and we know that this is something that can help us in our life, then we won't turn our mind against it. So this is the most basic things. It's a complete belief on the truth of this phenomenal world and the issue of abiding. The truth of this phenomenal world means impermanence, changes, cause and condition. And the issue of abiding. We abide to this phenomenal world that we think that these are all real, won't change. When we say real means it won't change. So this here belief and not turn his mind against it are the basic requirement. And if a person has this, when accepting the Diamond Sutra to use in his or her daily life, then in order to get deeper, this person will copy, receive it, uphold it, follow the teachings, read, chant, and explain to others. So when this person in this level, basically he or she already understands the truth of phenomenal world and also the issue of abiding in us. And that's why when he or she explains to others, when he or she reads or chant or upholding, he or she knows that even all this should not be abide to. Even the great merits should not be applied to, because he followed the teachings and applied it in their daily life. He or she will not be abide to merits or non-merits. That's why his or she merits are uncountable or immeasurable. Immeasurable, because that's not restricted to it. This person is not being abide. Then this person will get restricted. And that's why it's immeasurable. The virtue of this sutra is infinite and unlimited. The Tathagata speaks this sutra to those who have initiated the mind of great vehicle. He speaks it to those who have initiated the mind of the supreme vehicle. This sutra is infinite and unlimited. It's not being restricted. There's no boundary. Only those people that have initiated to practice the Bodhisattva path, follow the cultivation of great vehicle and supreme vehicle, then he or she will understand the ultimate teachings in this sutra. The reason is because those that follow the teachings in the sutra are those that vow to liberate themselves and others, but without the mind of liberation, without the mind of abiding. If these persons have the mind of abiding on liberation, this person does not completely understand that's the teachings, and he won't apply completely in his cultivation. This person will arise different emotional reaction when he or she interact with the phenomenon, the tangible or intangible. What we are saying here is that if this person make a vow to practice the Bodhisattvahood and cultivate the great vehicle, this person has to transcend from this phenomenal world. This person should not abide to the phenomenal world, to the sentient beings, when living in this phenomenal world and helping the sentient beings. So this person is helping the sentient beings and living in this phenomenal world with so many challenges. But this person will not let himself or herself to abide to all this. And that's why this person is free. It's not being restricted. The next slide. Those who delight in the lesser Dharma cling to a view of self, a view of others, a view of sentient beings, and a view of longevity. And thus, they are not able to listen to this sutra, to receive it, to read it, to chant it, and to explain it to other people. Those people that prefer to practice the lesser Dharma. Lesser Dharma means that we call it the small vehicle or the Theravada traditions, which means that they search or they practice for their own liberation. They are not going to interact with anyone, because anybody will cause destruction to them, their own practice. They will interrupt their own practice. So these persons will be cling to the view that I am the one that's doing practice. You are disturbing my practice, and you are so-called the sentient beings. And because of this, there's a longevity type of trouble. I do not want it. That's why this person won't be able to listen and understand this sutra. Because in this sutra is that we have to learn to let go, to not to abide to ourselves, our cultivation, our practice, our enlightenment. Even though we are cultivating practicing, reaching to the path of enlightenment, but we are not clinging to it. And if this person cling to all this person will not be able to understand, but not even willing to listen, not even to say, to receive, read, chant, or explain to others. Because this person does not agree and believe the teachings of non-abiding, the teachings of the truth in this phenomenal world. Maybe some of you might have encountered this experience, is that when you talk to somebody says that I'm reading the Diamond Sutra, somebody will say to you is that, oh, we are beginner. So Diamond Sutra are for those people that are more intelligent, for those people that practice for many lives. Then they are able to understand the teachings, which is not true. If a person have this mind to cultivate the Bodhisattvahood, to practice according to the great vehicle and supreme vehicle, then these persons will be able to listen and understand. Listen and understand. Purifications of karma. Just now I mentioned about if a person have this mind and make a vow to practice the Bodhisattvahood, this person will be able to listen and understand the sutra, and gradually will be able to receive, uphold, read, or chant the sutra, and even explain to other people. However, there are some people have such a situation. The Buddha says that if those good men and good women who received, uphold, read, and chant this sutra are criticized by others, it is due to negative karma incurred in their former lives. That negative karma should be the cause of the person falling into a lower rank. But in this life, he is merely criticized. Eventually, his negative karma from previous life will be eradicated and he will attain Anuttara Samyak Sambuddhi. In this translation, I am not very comfortable with this term called negative karma. I prefer to say as an unwholesome karma that we did in our past life. And also, this unwholesome karma will lead us, what we did will lead us to follow the lower rank, but doesn't mean that we are unable to get out from this lower rank. When we make a vow, that we want to practice the Bodhisattvahood, then we'll start to cultivate. And this criticism is just because of our unwholesome karma in the past life. And it's not a very big issue if we have the faith in our cultivation. So, if those people, they receive, uphold, read, or chant this sutra and criticized by others, as I mentioned earlier, somebody will say that you are not ready enough to chant the Diamond Sutra. You are not smart enough. You did not practice enough. When somebody criticizes, it is because of that person's unwholesome karma from the past lives. not just past one life, but many lives. And this unwholesome karma should not be the cost to this person fall into the lower realm, because this is just a criticism. So when somebody criticize you, do not think that because of my unwholesome karma, which means that I can only practice the Theravada traditions, the lower realm. It's not true. It's not true. If this persons continue to practice the Diamond Sutra, insist and have faith in his own cultivation, eventually he will eradicate the unwholesome karma and attain Anattara Sambuddhi, which means the enlightenment. And somebody might ask me is that, how long of cultivation then we are able to eradicate the unwholesome karma? I won't know how long it will be, because I won't know how much unwholesome karma that you have from your past life and also your current life. But I know that if this person make a vow to practice wholesome action, cultivate his own practices, eventually this person will reduce the unwholesome karma. It's what happened to the Buddha. It will also happen to us if we have the faith. So here, where should we abide? Since we have talked a lot about non-abiding, we keep talking about non-abiding to this, non-abiding to that. But as a person, as a practitioner, as a lay members, or a student of the Buddha, where should we abide to? So Shibudi asked the Buddha, when good men and good women initiate the mind to Anattara Sambuddhi, what should they abide in? And how should they subdue their mind? When a person make a vow, say that I want to cultivate, and in the end, I want to attain Anattara Sambuddhi, enlightenment. So what should we abide to? And how should we subdue our mind? The Buddha said, when good men and good women initiate the mind to Anattara Sambuddhi, they should give rise to a mind like this. I should liberate all sentient beings, and as I liberate them, I shall not that there really, I should know that there really are no sentient beings to be liberated. I am liberating, helping all sentient beings. Helping all sentient beings. But I know that in here, in my mind, there's no really a sentient beings to be liberated. So what should we abide to? Since there's no sentient beings, since there's no liberation. And where should we subdue our mind? Where should we subdue our mind? So in here, look at the picture. We have to say that there are a lot of challenge in this human realm, from war, from disaster, from poverty, emotional challenges, a lot of things that we are facing. So if we want to help these people, where should we abide to? And how should we subdue our mind when we see these people are suffering? How can we help? How can we help them? How can we help them? We should help them. But when we help them and we abide to all this, eventually it will lead us to suffering, because we are not strong enough in here. So in the Diamond Sutra says that we have to help them as according to our own ability. When we see the suffering in this world, people are killing people, natural disaster, poverty, emotional reaction, a lot of things. So if this person initiates the mind in helping those people that are suffering, this person's mind have to have this thought: I should not abide to anything that I am helping right now, because there's no really a sentient beings being helped by me, and no sentient beings receive help when I am helping them. So remember, we discussed in one of the class, we keep talking about we do this, we don't do this, and we do this. The mountain is mountain, the mountain is not mountain, the mountain is mountain. But the first mountain is mountain and the last mountain is mountain are two different notion of mountain. Or as you say, mindset of mountain. The first mountain is the abiding mountain. The last mountain is a non-abiding to the mountain. The mountain is still there, but we don't abide to the mountain. So somebody they asked me is that if we don't have this mind or this notion of abiding, how will we have this mind of helping people? The Buddha didn't say that you should not help people. The Buddha says that see the truth of all these people. When you see the truth of this phenomenal world, of all sentient beings, even yourself, you will know that I still need to help. I still need to eat. I still need to earn money, but I don't abide to all this. I just do it. Not abiding to anything. Just do it. When you know that this is something that need to do and will benefit others and yourself, just do it. And if you know that this is something that will benefit me, but will hurt other people, you can choose to do it, you can choose not to do it. If you do it, you will create bad affinity, right? You hurt other people, of course it's bad affinity, relationship. When you don't do it, at least there's no cause and condition creating the bad condition. So we are the master of ourselves. We have the choice in our life. There are a lot of things that we can't control, but we can control ourselves, how we think when we face with all this external situation. And the Buddha continued to say, if a Bodhisattva has a notion of self, notion of others, notion of sentient beings, or notion of longevity, then he is not a Bodhisattva. And why is this? Shibuddhi, in truth, there is no phenomenon of initiating the mind to Anyatara Samya Sambuddhi. There's no phenomenon. There's no phenomenon. The phenomenon of means people, things, place, feeling, everything that happens in our life, everything that we encounter or interact, we so-called the phenomenon. And because there's no phenomenon, then where will there be the notion of Anyatara Samyak Sambuddhi? There's no phenomenal, and that's why there's no such a notion of Anyatara Samyak Sambuddhi. We live in this phenomenal world. This phenomenal world is also the Anyatara Samyak Sambuddhi. Since there's no phenomenal world, then there's no Anyatara Samyak Sambuddhi. Then what are the things that we so insist on, so attached to? Why do we attach to so many things? Okay, now here, continue. Where should we abide to? Shibuddhi, what do you think? When the Tathagata was with Dipankara Buddha, was there the Dharma of Anyatara Samyak Sambuddhi to attain or not? Is there such a thing, so-called the Dharma of Anyatara Samyak Sambuddhi, to be attained? And Shibuddhi say, there was not, whole world honor one. As far as I understand the meaning of what the Buddha has said, when the Buddha was with Dipankara Buddha, there was no such thing as Dharma of Anyatara Samyak Sambuddhi to attain. To attain. Because in the previous class teachings, the Buddha already says that we should not have this mind of attaining. We should not have this mind of the Buddha. We should not have this mind of the Dharma that we abide to. Since we should not have all this thing to abide to, even the idea or the mind of Anyatara Samyak Sambuddhi to attain, it also should not be abide to. It's not something that is there for us to attain. And Buddha says that, oh, so it is, so it is. Shibuddhi, in truth, there is no Dharma of Anyatara Samyak Sambuddhi for the Tathagata to attain. Shibuddhi, if the Tathagata had attained the Dharma of Anyatara Samyak Sambuddhi, then Dipankara Buddha would not have prophesied, in the future you will attain Buddhahood and be called Shakyamuni Buddha. If this Tathagata, which means the Shakyamuni Buddha, have this mind that I will attain the Anyatara Samyak Sambuddhi, which means they already have the notion of I and the notion of Anyatara Sambuddhi, Anyatara Samyak Sambuddhi, then this will lead to abiding. And definitely the Dipankara Buddha will not prophesy him. Since there is no Dharma of Anyatara Samyak Sambuddhi to attain, Dipankara Buddha prophesies that I would become a Buddha, saying, in the future you will attain Buddhahood and be called Shakyamuni. And why is this? Tathagata means all phenomenal as they are. As they are. And what does it mean that as they are? Impermanence. Keep on changing. It won't be always there. The Tathagata has attained Anyatara Samyak Sambuddhi. Someone might say the Tathagata has attained Anyatara Samyat Sambuddhi, but Shibuddhi, there really is no Dharma of Anyatara Samyat Sambuddhi for the Buddha to attain. So again, this is the level of cultivation of Bodhisattvahood, a cultivation on non-abiding and the understanding of impermanence. The Dipankara Buddha won't claim that the Tathagata will achieve supreme enlightenment if the Buddha has the mind of attaining supreme enlightenment. If the Buddha has this mind that I attain supreme enlightenment, then this Buddha is not the Buddha. Because this Buddha abide to the self and also abide to the notion of supreme enlightenment. But the Tathagata understand there is no Dharma of there's no Dharma of Anyatara Samyat Sambuddhi to attain, because, as I mentioned earlier, this phenomenon is like this. It's impermanence. Even Anyatara Samyat Sambuddhi will also change. It will also change. So since there's this phenomenal world should not abide to, there's a non-phenomenal world, then of course there's a non-Anyatara Samyat Sambuddhi, which is so-called the supreme enlightenment. So in here, Buddha continued to say it, Shibuddhi, within the Anyatara Samyat Sambuddhi that the Tathagata has attained, there is no real nor unreal. There's no real nor unreal. The Anyatara Samyat Sambuddhi that being attained, basically we cannot say that it's real, because real means no changes. But if we say that it's unreal, it's also not right. This will easily become nihilism. So in here, the Buddhas continue to elaborate. For these reasons, the Tathagata says that all phenomena are the Buddha Dharma. All phenomena are the Buddha Dharma. Shibuddhi, that which is said to be all phenomena is not all phenomena. And that is why it is called phenomenal. Shibuddhi, it is the same as a great human body. Great human body. Here to say is that the Anyatara Samyat Sambuddhi that being attained, we cannot say that it's real, it's not real, or nor unreal. It changes all the time. And that's why all phenomena are the Buddha Dharma, called the Bofa. Because phenomenal is said to be all phenomenal, is not all phenomenal. And when we understand about this, and that's why it is called all phenomenal, which is the same as a great body. Human body, great human body. So in this class, we have a lot of things that we need to really think deeply. Diamond Sutra is not a very straightforward like Four Noble Truths. Four Noble Truths are fully connected to our life. We can feel the suffering. We can actually even feel the cause of the suffering. And we know that if we do this, the path to the end of suffering, it will help us to end the suffering. So it's quite straightforward. But in the Prajna system, the Prajna Paramita system, is beyond the Four Noble Truths. It's not so straightforward. It's just like we see the mountain, we didn't see the mountain, and then after that we see the mountain. The first mountain see, the last mountain also we see, but what are the difference between the first seeing the mountain and the last seeing of the mountain? What are the differences? So when, after or before you want to chant this sutra, you have to at least have this mind of temporarily put aside your understanding of the basic teachings in Buddhism. Again, it's different level of learning. The basic teachings are the Four Noble Truths, Eightfold Path, Three Dharma Seal, and the 12 Links. These basic teachings will be able to help us to liberate out from suffering. But when we start to learn about the Prajna Paramita system, it still have this teaching of liberating ourselves from suffering and the circle of birth and death through the understanding on beyond what we learn. Beyond it, look deeper to it. Actually, the Prajna Paramita system is originated from the Three Dharma Seal. Three Dharma Seal: impermanent, non-self, and nirvana. When you are able to really see through it, and when you apply in your daily life, you are able to liberate yourself from the challenging situation that you are living in right now. Physically, you're still facing this challenge, but your mind will not be so affected by the current situation. So whether we like it or not, we are living in this phenomenal world. And challenge are part of our life, same as suffering. But also including joy, peace. It's just what we want to choose. So our class will end here. Please think about the notion of abiding. When should we abide? What should we abide? When should we not abide? What should we not abide? In the next class, we will look into the great human body. And is there such a thing called human body? Such a thing called this human body. I will see all of you next week. Thank you very much. 阿弥陀佛。